Good evening, everybody. Welcome into a brand new channel that I am bringing you here, DEM Sports. I am your host. I go by the in-screen name of Deus Ex Machina. I have been using that screen name for years on my gaming channels while I'm gaming. I'm a huge gamer, PC gamer, console gamer, mobile gamer, whatever you want. I've got another channel called DEM Gaming. If you're a big fan of retro gaming, especially Legend of Zelda, the original Zelda 1 Legend of Zelda on the NES circa 1986, go follow me on that channel. YouTube, DEM Gaming, Twitch, DEM underscore gaming, because that is mostly what I play. But I've always wanted to make a sports channel. I love sports. I was born and raised in Morgantown, West Virginia. I moved away when I was 21 years old, but I've always just bled gold and blue, hence the West Virginia Mountaineer background. I'm a huge Mountaineer fan. Even though I live now currently 4 to 5 hours away in Philadelphia, depending on traffic, I used to always have season tickets. I gave them up a few years ago, mostly just because they got just way too expensive between like gas, tolls, all the other expenses, concessions. You go in there, beers are $10 a piece. I'm a pretty heavy drinker. I'm drinking right now. But, it's like you go in there and you spend $50-$60 on concessions. It was costing me between $300 and $400 a weekend. And whenever Neil Brown, the whole Neil Brown era, that is a whole topic for another video. I couldn't take it anymore. I just had to give up the season tickets. The money, it was getting too expensive. The product on the field was bad. Whatever. Anyway, I'm just a huge Mountaineer fan. I've always wanted to make a sports channel. I finally decided, what's stopping me? I've got all the equipment. I've got the studio mic. I've got the webcam. I've got the software. I got the knowledge. I know how to do this kind of stuff. YouTube channels are free. So I'm just going to make a YouTube channel. That way I can air my thoughts out there. Watch it, don't watch it, like it, don't like it, whatever. We'll see where it goes. I just feel like I have all these like good opinions and thoughts on college sports and West Virginia sports, and it never really seems to get out there. I used to be big on the message boards. That just frustrated me because I'm always constantly bickering with people. And on these other content creators, whenever they do videos and stuff, it's just like your comments 1 in 1,000 that are scrolling by so fast that they just get lost in the sauce. Nobody sees them. So I was like, I'm just going to make a YouTube channel. Whatever. It's free to start. I'll just do one. We'll see where it goes. And this is just a way for me to air my thoughts and grievances, or, cheer and, hoop and hooray, So let's get started. We are exactly 3 weeks from the start of the season. What better way to get started than a schedule prediction? So I've got my schedule here on the left. I've got our metrics that we're going to use here on the right. We've got W's for wins, L's for losses, and a coin, if I think it's just going to be a coin flip. That there are some of these teams I just don't know anything about. So we're just going to mark them as a coin flip. At the end, we're actually going to flip coins and see where we come up with. I don't know what it's actually going to be. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got Robert Morris. That's going to be a W. No way Rich Rodriguez loses to Robert Morris, an FCS opponent. And a little bit of background, I was there. I was there that night. If you're a WVU fan, you need no more context than that. I'm talking 2007, 100th rendition of the Backyard Brawl, BCS berth on the line. I was there. Section 134, row 48, seat 50. I was there. And I hated Rich Rod for so long after that. I rooted for him to fail at Michigan. I rooted for him to fail at Arizona. But the more I've learned about the whole situation, and after 6 years or whatever it was in Neil Brown, it feels like an eternity. I'm actually really getting excited for Rich Rod to come back. Again, topic for another video. I feel like we went from like an asshole coach in Rich Rod to super nice guy Bill Stewart, who went 9-3, 9-3, 9-3, whatever. Never really get it done. Don't get me wrong, 9-3 is all right, but with those rosters, we should have done better than 9-3. It should have been 10-2, 11-1, 12-0. He should have done so much better. We were still in the Big East at that time. We weren't even in the Big 12. And then we finally get rid of him, and in comes asshole coach Dana Holgerson. And so we go, asshole Rich Rod, nice guy Bill Stewart, asshole Dana Holgerson, nice guy Neil Brown. Now we're back to asshole Rich Rod. When have we done our best? When has our best win-loss ratios and stuff happened? Under asshole coaches. I'm super excited for Rich Rod to be back. We've got the Ohio Bobcats, week 2. This could be a tricky game. It's like they were supposed to be, they were really good last year, but they lost their coach. It's at Ohio. I've always said, if you're going to play a bad if you're going to play a bad group of 5 team, play a bad group of, or if you're going to play a group of 5 team, play a bad one. If you're going to play a FCS opponent, play a bad one. Don't play a good one, because you've got nothing to gain and everything to lose. Even that said, I can't imagine that we lose this game. I don't think Rich Rod will let us lose to Ohio. Pitt, 9-13. Like I said, I was there that night for 13-9, 9-13, however you want to look at it. I was there that night. I'm trying to be objective. Pitt's supposed to be really good this year. They're supposed to be really good last year. They fell apart towards the end of the season. They started like 5-0 and finished the season like 6-6 or something. And I loved it. But this year they're supposed to be contenders for the ACC. If I picked every game with my heart, we'd be 16-0 and national championships. That said, I can never pick us to lose against Pitt. That will never happen. Especially under Rich Rod. I can't imagine that he's going to let that happen with everything. The stadium is going to be so rocking. I mean, I'm trying to get tickets to that game. I would love to come in for that game. That's going to be crazy. All right, non-con out of the way. Get into the heart of the season conference. You can go 0-3 in non-con, and as long as you win your conference, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. So, Kansas is supposed to be really good last year. We beat them pretty handily at home. Even under Neil Brown, we beat them pretty handily. But they came alive at the end of the season last year. Nobody wanted to play them those last like 3-4 weeks. So they were beating everybody. And this could potentially be a letdown after the Pitt game. So let's go ahead and mark that as a coin flip. I want to mark it as a W, but again, just letdown game after Pitt on the road to start conference play. Yeah. Then we come back home to play Utah. I know Utah didn't do well last year, but they could do really well this year. We're going to go ahead and mark that as an L, because I don't think Utah is going to... I don't think that we beat Utah, even though it is at home. I think we do well at home this year. I think that, I think the stadium's going to be rocking for Rich Rod's return. I think we're going to defend Milan Pushkar well. I don't think we win that game. BYU. Now, BYU doesn't look near as scary as they did a few weeks ago when they lost their starting quarterback. I don't know the whole situation. I don't really want to get into it. Something, he got, let off with, sexual assault charges or something, but they were still going to suspend him because the whole Mormon faith thing. I was born and raised in a super religious household, so I know all about that kind of stuff. I don't really want to get into that, but he, transferred away. Bottom line is they lost their starting quarterback like 3 weeks before the season started. So they don't look near scary. If it was neutral site like it was a few years ago when we played them at FedEx Field, I was there for that game at FedEx Field. I was like 6 rows off the field. That was an awesome game. If it was at a neutral site, it'd be a coin flip all day, every day. If it was at Mountaineer Field, I'd put it down as a win. Being that it's at BYU Stadium, though, we're going to go ahead and mark that as an L. UCF. Is there any more disappointing team than UCF? They went undefeated and won a national championship, hung a banner, and all this stuff. They have not transferred well into a power conference. They were not only have they not just like everybody thought they were going to come in and like dominate the Big 12. Not only have they not dominated the Big 12, they've been bad, like bad. That's a win. I don't care. UCF has done nothing, zero to impress me since they joined a power conference. They are bad. TCU. There might not be another single team in the Big 12 that I couldn't care less about than TCU. I don't know what it is. They just do not pique my interest at all. They did a little bit back when they had, like, what was his name? That quarterback that was really good. I can't remember. The guy that gave, like, Dana Holgorsen a high five on the sideline. They, ever since then, like, I don't know. I know nothing about them. Are they supposed to be good this year? Are they supposed to be bad this year? I don't freaking know. I don't follow them at all. They just do not pique my interest. For that alone, we're just going to make them a coin flip. I mean, they played for a national championship like 2 years ago, so they might be really good. They might be really bad. I don't know. They played for a national championship and then like won like 3 games the next year. So who knows? At Houston, that's a win. There's no way we lose at Houston. Not again. Rich Rod will not let us lose the way that Neil Brown did on a Hail Mary in the last second. That was one of those games where I just sat there for like 10 minutes after the game going, it was like, did that really just happen? Yeah, that was one of those did it really just happen moments. Colorado. I wasn't overly impressed with Colorado last year, even with Shedeur Sanders and what was the name? Hunter? Travis Hunter? Was that his name? That honestly, that shows you how sad that situation was, is that we had a generational player in that Hunter. Heisman Trophy winner, dual side player, offense and defense. Haven't seen anything like it in decades. And I just had to like pause to even think about his name because the coach's son was the quarterback, who I don't even think was that good. I really don't think he was that good. They lost both of those players. It's at home. I want to mark it as a W, but just knowing how this era of college football works with the whole NIL and how much money they have coming in, we're going to mark it as a coin flip because it really could end up just being a coin flip. Arizona State, excuse me. Man, they lost their workhorse and Cam Scadaboo last year. Arizona State actually kind of screwed the whole Big 12 last year and going from being projected to finish last to winning the whole thing. I feel like anybody else wins the Big 12 last year and we get 2 teams in. We get BYU and whoever won. But because Arizona State started so low and had to work their way all the way up, you know, but they do have a lot of people coming back. Even with losing Cam, they've got a lot of guys coming back. And because it's on the road, we're going to mark that as a W. Or W, as an L, excuse me. Texas Tech. If they don't win the Big 12, then they need to, like, hire an outside company to figure out what they did with all their NIL money. They have spent, like, more money than almost anybody in college football. They have spent so much money in this NIL era. So, yeah, I'm going to mark that as an L. So, where are we sitting? 5-4 with 3 coin flips. I think last I saw, Vegas had us sitting at 5.5 wins. So, I've got 5 guaranteed wins, 4 guaranteed losses, 3 coin flips. Let's see how we do. Let's try to beat the Vegas odds. Somewhere in here, I've got a coin flip simulator. There it is. Let's see. This is going to be for Kansas week 4. We've got a win. That's a W. So we're going to start the season 4-0, end up going 5-2. If we start 4-0, I think we're going to be ranked in the top 25. 5-2, probably not so much. But yeah, let's see how we do. TCU week 8. Oh my God, that's another win. We're going to win that one too. And coin flips we trust. So now we're sitting at 7-2 or 7-4. Excuse me. I'll take 7 wins all day. I don't care what happens to this last coin flip. Let's see what happens with Colorado. That's a loss. Okay. So we're going to lose against Colorado. But that makes us at 7-5. I'm perfectly happy with that. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's the final prediction, 7-5. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. If we win 7 games, not only do I think that's going to be awesome, but I think the donors, the big time donors, will be happy with that. And I think a lot more money will come in for next year. Obviously, we'll be bowl eligible. We can go get an 8th win in a bowl. Rich Rod's always been pretty good in bowls. So if we finish season 8-5, potentially ranked in the top 25. I don't know, would 8-5 get us ranked? I don't know. That might be another topic for a video. Anyway, if we finish 7-5 though, I'm happy with that. Like I said, I've been a lifelong fan of WVU sports. I remember year 1 under Rich Rod when we won like 3 or 4 games or whatever it was. So if we can win 7 games under Rich Rod 2.0, let's freaking go. So yeah, let's just see what happens. Like I said, this is a brand new channel. Like and subscribe. I'm probably going to put out like 1 or 2 videos each week. Next video, I don't even know what the topic might be. Like I said, I've got so many ideas flipping around in my head. So I'll make something up. It'll probably be coming out in a few days. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to turn on notifications. But yeah, otherwise, have a great rest of your evening, and let's go Mountaineers.